What's up, Nitro Nation? Muggy Maniac is in the cave. Some serious upkeep and maintenance is going down. Okay, so after you get done clean or brapping, okay, when you're done doing the deed, like this badass got nasty, okay, it's time to clean her up. You know, some people, I trip out. I kid you not, man. And I've seen tons of people just keep their shit like this. Maybe brush it off a little bit, throw some after run, and then they're, you know, and that's it. Like, I'm like, really? Are you kidding me? No wonder your shit doesn't perform, or they have issues, or it just doesn't last that long in general. Okay? You gotta upkeep your shit. Okay? You gotta, at the end when you're done, your shit should be looking freaking fresh and sexy like this badass right here. Like the Techno. Techno's ready. Techno's like, put me in, coach, I'm ready. Next. But I think, just because I'm loving it so much, I think we're gonna run the Mugen one more time. I'm working half a day tomorrow. Okay. So I'm thinking, I don't know, don't quote me on this, I'm thinking give her a good, nice surface clean. Okay, we're gonna go over the basics right now. I had a guy, I think his name's Daniel Fritz, let's call him Mr. Fritz. Mr. Fritz asked me, hey, can you do a video? And see, I'm the type of guy, just so you guys know, the Muggy Maniac, I don't need, like, you know, to get, you know, like you hear these guys say, well, I had a lot of people request this, and so I decided, hey, all it takes is for me, one person, okay, to ask me, hey, Muggy, can you do me a favor? You know, whenever you get a chance, can you do a video, or in your video touch on whatever it might be, whether it's something on the tuning, whether it's something on, you know, like I did the Badlands, and you know, that nobody asked me about that. I just had a, you know, thought I would share that with you since I was doing it anyway. He asked me, you know, can you kind of show me what you do as far as to take the fuel out of the motor, the pipe, and so forth. Now, if you guys don't know, or you know from watching my videos, at the basic, let's just say I wasn't gonna get to the Mugen right away to, you know, start tearing it down and cleaning it. Always, I clean the tires, rims and tires. I mean, we just talked about this. I mean, if you're gonna spend $100 on a pair of these badass Badlands and DE racing rims or Proline, those are the only other ones I suggest. The Prolines are going to cost you more money, obviously, because they're Proline. They're the Proline race dishes. They're 4 inches in diameter, so they're the same size as the DE. But the DE, you can't really beat it, man. These are great rims, come in all the different colors that you want. You know, they've got some pretty bright-ass colors. I've got pretty much one of each color. These are the ones that I just did. Haven't taken rubber bands. They're still sitting. Heck, I might run them next, you know, when I run the Mugen again. I might run these, but I don't know. These are fine. They're nice and broken in. You know, they still get pizza cutters. I mean, obviously, when you're hooking these tires up to a modified 28.8 Rex Legend, okay, Novarosi, with the 9886 and the 41032, like as you guys seen on that video, this thing's screaming. So anyway, we'll get into that in a second. When you're cleaning, I mean, you're spending $100 on rims and tires, man. I rinse these off. I shoot them with simple green, let them soak for a minute, scrub them, rinse them all. I do like two stages. I'll do the rinsing first just to get all the major shit off. Then I'll do the simple green, let them set, get a brush, something like, you know, any kind of, I use this type of brush, as long as it has bristles on it, you know, and scrub them really, really well, rinse all the simple green off, and then I use Dawn, preferably there's the Dawn dishwashing liquid that says 2 or 4 times the strength. It's really concentrated. I use that. You don't have to use as much because it's concentrated. I use that on it, scrub them again, and then rinse them, and then air dry them out, you know, blow dryer, put them up to whatever. And then they're nice and fresh and clean, ready to rock and roll. And I'll maybe throw a little bit of silicone with Teflon on it, rub it around on it, or you can use Armor All, whatever you want to use to shine them up. Get them nice and shiny. Next thing I'll clean in that sense is the same thing I'll do to the wing and I'll do to the body. So those 3 things I clean the same way. Simple green because, you know, this is a beater body, but say you got a really nice painted body, you don't want to do anything until you rinse. I don't even touch it. If this was a brand new painted, you know, body, like my Joker body, I would spray it with simple green, rinse it off really good, get all the dirt off it, and then hit it with Dawn. And obviously I wouldn't use a bristle brush. I would use a soft sponge, clean it up with Dawn, get it nice and squeaky clean, and let it dry. And then either use silicone. Sometimes I'll use glass cleaner or Windex or whatever just to get it, you know, because it is polyurethane, and get it shiny. So rims, body, wing the same way. Now, the thing that I'm going to really get into is because of Mr. Fritz asked me, and I think this is the most important thing of anything that you clean, is anything that had fuel through it. That means your motor, your pipe, and your tank. So I've already taken the tank out. I kind of air it out a little bit, and then after I air it out, what I do here, I'll show you. It's one thing to show you how I do it, but I think it's a lot better if you kind of see how I do it instead of me just, you know, showing you. Let me get now this is scrubbed stuff right here, my little camera stand. And when it comes to camera work and all that, oh yeah, the Muggy's definitely a scrub. Rookie shit. And I know, everybody keeps telling me you need to get a GoPro, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, we'll get there, okay? Alright, I'd rather spend money on more goodies than, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, what I do is I have this bottle, okay? And I'm going to show you why these are important. This thing, can you guys see that? This thing is freaking filthy as hell. I mean, because it was really dusty out there. And by the way, okay, before we start cleaning, this thing, the balls have officially dropped, okay? You know, like the ball drops in New York, whatever, New Year's Eve, the ball drops. Well, the balls dropped today on the 28.8 Rex Legend, okay? And if you guys don't know what that means, well, let me tell you what that means. When your motor gets to about 2 gallons, we'll just talk about the Novarossi 28.8. Most Italians, but especially this. I remember when I first got my first Stalker one, Rick would always tell me, oh man, this thing is going to get stronger. Every time you run it, it'll get stronger. You'll feel it every time you run it. Until you get around 2 gallons. Modified, even more. Okay? When I was running this thing today, that little piece of video, the reason I didn't do a longer running video, I didn't run that much longer. I ran a couple more tanks. This thing was all over the place, pulling the front end up. The crash that you seen, it flipped over a couple times because my brakes were I had to adjust and they're too sensitive. But this thing was pulling the front end. I mean, I've got like all kinds of scrape marks from this thing hitting the wing from it standing up. I mean, it didn't, and that shit that I was running on, I was getting rocks thrown up in here one time. It wasn't on video, but my shit stalled, and I was like, what the hell? And then it wouldn't roll, and I'm like, oh, come on. Did I mess up something in the transmission or the diff or something? Well, what happened is a rock got wedged in between here, and you could probably see a little bit of scraping on the clutch valve. So yeah, I really don't like running in that shit. It's just really dry right now because it's been hot, and it's got a lot of pebbles and rocks and shit lodged up in here, and you know, it's easy to get something shoved up in here, a rock, and you can do some serious damage. So I didn't run much longer on it. And that's why I like running an area where it has a little bit of dirt, not too much rocks, a little bit of grass, a little bit of concrete. I kind of like a little bit of each, you know. I'm not fortunate like some people where you have a BRAP spot to go to or a track to run at. I've got really nothing around me, you know, without having to drive forever. And I don't, as much as I work to be able to do some videos of you guys, I just don't have a long time to just go to a track and run my shit, or I would be. I work 60 hours a week, okay? Some of you can relate to that, some of you can't. And that makes a difference in me having next level shit like that and not having next level shit like this. I work hard for all of my shit. But anyway, so I ran it a little bit long. This thing is just, I mean, if I could sum up this modded 28.8 in the setup. By the way, I did change changed my clutch springs. I had kind of soft ones. I put a little bit more medium. You don't want to get any more than medium. When you start putting hard clutch springs in there, you're going to be pulling. Of course, the thing's going to be pulling the front end up. It's going to have a lot more torque, but this motor doesn't need that. Remember, on modified motors, soft, medium springs, that's it. Don't run hard springs in them because you're going to burn up your clutch shoes. Unless you got the money to come out of pocket and spend $25, $30 every time to buy a pair of clutch shoes, then hey, by all means, don't listen to what I say. Go knock yourself out. You know, clutch shoes, good ones, aren't cheap. They're anywhere from 20 to 30 bucks for a set of shoes. Did I say clutch springs? Shoes, clutch shoes. Okay? Even Mr. Zah said that. Modified motors don't need the help. They don't need hard springs. Okay? Now, a stock Novarossi? Oh, yeah. Put some hard-ass springs on that bitch. Because, you know, even though it is a torquey stalker, it still can use some help because it's not modified. Modified motors don't need it. Okay? So go easy on the springs. Clutch shoes will last a lot longer. And you'll still get the performance. This is a torquey-ass motor. This thing was just nasty. I didn't even get it up to... I couldn't pin the throttle. And another thing, you know, whether it's stock, whether it's modded again, you don't want to start getting on this thing and pinning the throttle and making, you know, high-end passes until you've got at least a gallon through. I don't anyway. I still don't even scream this thing full tilt for too long. And I run it rich, okay? But still, I don't. I mean, I can. It's fine now. It's got 2 gallons through it. And I probably will. I want to really just scream this thing. I really didn't scream it too much because I know it was still getting up to the 2 gallon. But now that it's at 2 gallons, that's why I want to run it again. I'm going to run it again, see how lean I can go. You can't go too lean on these, stock or modded. Especially modded. They just want it. They like to run, these 28.8 Rex Legends like to run rich. Especially modded. And it's okay because they'll still kick ass and spank that ass still running fat. You've seen, you don't have to take my word. Go watch Mr. Zah's video of him running, you know, his modified 28.8. Okay? Running it fat and things still getting nasty. Okay? So yeah, that's my take on this thing. This thing is a sick I'm telling you, man. I can't wait. I want to run this modded 28.8 against a modded, you know, modded or my other one that I'm going to get modded LRP .32. I want to see how much really the difference is. I can tell you one thing from running both of them stock and, you know, semi-modded one. The Novorossi's got a lot more torque. The 28.8 has more torque than the LRP .32. And I think a lot of it has to do with the 7-port, and the 30.32 is a 7-port. This is an 8-port. And I remember John mentioning it, and it is true. This thing will scream, and it'll continue to scream to where the .32 LRP will scream, but it won't want to go anymore. This thing wants to keep screaming its balls off. So yeah, this is a nasty. I love this thing. If you have a stock one, wait till you run a modified one. And like I said, Lance at RC Renew says he has modded motors, 28.8s, or whatever motors that spank Rick's motor's ass. Now that's drag racing, so it's different. But at the same sense, Rick, Lance is, he said, hey man, try me out, run my shit against your RB modded shit, and I guarantee you will see mine outperform Rick's. Okay, not that Rick's isn't bad, just I think Lance he's more of a technical guy, man. He's next level. Lance is, if you guys know anything about TNS and Neil, Lance is pretty close to how Neil is. Not that Neil's were better than Rick's, but in some sense they were, because Neil dynos his shit and just had, more modern stuff. Rick's just the old school, gearhead guy. And he does awesome work. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with Rick's work. I just think Lance is the next stage above. Okay? And well, I'll have to see. I'll have to get motors modded by Lance and put them up against my RB modded shit. And see what happens. But anyway, so Fritz asked me about the fuel. So what I do, like I said, I take the tank out. Let me show you real quick. Enough of my babbling on. Yeah, I just want more of this modded. And I swear, man, once you start running modified motors, you won't even really, stock won't do nothing for you. I mean, I can see where Mr. Zaga comes when he says that. So what I do is I take it, I saturate it with simple green. Really good, just to get all the bulk of the dust and dirt off it. Kind of scrub it a little, kind of rub it a little bit. By the way, I plug up the ends of the fuel lines where the openings are. I plug them up so I don't get any excess. Well, I put rubbing alcohol in here and I'll let that set in here. And then what I'll do is I'll blow it out through the lines. But I do this. I'll take like a toothbrush, kind of scrub around. Just kind of, loosen up a lot of the dirt. Okay, scrub around. By the way, if you want to keep your tank from melting, see this here? I use an aluminum can, but what I do is, because I drink Rockstars every once in a while, see this? It's a piece of the Rockstar can. I cut the side of it off, and I'll glue it with, the same glue I use for the tires, to the side here, where the pipe will touch. That way it reflects the heat, so you don't melt your shit. And at the same time, keeps your tank from getting warm. You don't want your fuel to get warm from the pipe being next to it. Now this front part, this is where the pinion is. So say instance that I've had in the past where your clutch valve comes loose, I've had it, before I put this here, go almost into the tank where you're going to put a hole in your tank if it comes loose. So this is just a precaution to keep that from happening. I wrapped aluminum around here, so if the clutch valve does come loose and the set screw comes out, it's not going to go into the tank and damage the tank. That's just a little tip. If you guys want to use that, fine. If not, to each his own. So anyway, yeah, simple green it, scrub it real good. What the hell did I do with my toothbrush? I just had another one. Scrub it around. I want to break all the dirt off it. Okay, then I take my little air can, kind of air it out a little bit. And then what I like to do is I like to use, again, I have a bottle of rubbing alcohol, because rubbing alcohol will dry It won't leave any kind of residue. It'll dry pretty quick. If you notice I have gloves on, man, this bitch is dirty, man. This thing got really dirty and dusty. It was like running in the desert, man, out there today. So when this shit's that dirty, this is when the muggy's got to throw the fucking... We're going to do some therapeutical cleaning surgery here, so to speak. Yeah, so I'll just kind of get that all, see how it's nice and clean. Then I'll just set that to the side, let it dry, and then the final stage for that is I'll silicone it, and then I'll put air in here and blow the rubbing alcohol through the lines and blow it out of the tank. So that takes all the, because you don't want to leave any kind of fuel in the lines, the tank, or anything, because that shit will turn your lines hard as pretzels. Because, you know, nitro fuel, if you don't know, you know now, it turns into water. Okay, so that's how I clean the tank. Alright, now, as far as the motor, I kind of do the same thing to the motor. So if I use carburetor cleaner to get a lot of the dirt off. But before I do that, if you notice it's on my bump box, I turn my bump box off. Okay. Oop. Take my plug out. Now before you take your plug out, before you take your air cleaner off, make sure you air off your vehicle really good, because you don't want to get any particles or debris inside of the throat of your Venturi. Okay, and you definitely don't want to get any loose shit inside of your motor. Okay, so I've already cleaned it out really good, aired it off really good, got all this shit around it before I pulled off my air cleaner. Take out the plug. Because there's nitro fuel in here, okay, you want to kind of get it out. And the best way to get it out, if there is any in there still, is you put it on your bump box. Bump it a few times. Sometimes you'll get the fuel out of, you'll basically get the fuel out of there. Then what I do is I take my custom Muggy Juice. If you guys want to know what it is, comment at the bottom, I'll tell you what's in it. I can even give you the mixture of what I use. I use Marvel, I'll tell you what I use. It's Marvel Mystery Oil, okay, Novarossi Engine Oil, and 3-in-1. Then I'll take I don't want to put too much. Some guys put too much shit in there, and that's when you'll have a hard time firing up your motor and foul out your plug. I put about 4 to 5 drops in the motor, and then I put at least 3 inside of my carburetor. Now when I put them in the carburetor, all I do is just work the carburetor with your finger or whatever. Open it up. See if I can grab the damn thing. Can't with my gloves on. Open the carburetor up, just to kind of work the juice in there. Once I do that, then I cap it with the where are they at? The little caps that come inside the low-C shock oil, these little blue things. Put that baby on top. Okay, then before I put the plug in, I'll take my rag again, put it on top, and I want to work the Muggy Juice into the piston and sleeve. So I'll pop it a couple more times. Then I'll look down, make sure my shit is set bottom dead center. And all you got to do is look down and look for the piston to be down at the bottom. I have my flywheel marked too, so I know. So once I do that, then I take the plug. Whoop! Son of a biscuit eater. Alright, people. Hold on. Damn it. Frickin' Muggy. Oh, shit. You don't want to drop your plug. But I want to check it anyway. Let's see what she looks like. Was running her pretty rich, so it's about normal. So now that we've got the juices in there, now we take the plug, put her back in. Okay, tighten it up. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put you guys over in my stand so you guys can kind of see. Take this, get my bump stand out of here. I don't need it now. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to remove the motor. Okay, so I can clean and remove the pipe first of all, but so anyway, this thing, this numerosity is just, man, it's hard to explain. You gotta go and mod it and run it for yourself, and just be patient with it. Don't scream the thing, you know, until you've got at least a gallon fuel through it. And then I wouldn't even scream it, okay? Now you guys can look at this. See this? This bitch is like filthy. Oh, by the way, take all the fuel, like I said. Don't leave any fuel in your bottle. Put it into, that's why I keep all my empty quarts of my Byron quarts or whatever. I put rubbing alcohol in this as well. Shake it up and I let it set in there. So I got to take it out, but it's fine in there right now. Anyway, so what I do, now I'm going to get my the brand new next level tool here. The Hot Racing spring remover. Man, this thing, I'm telling you, if you guys are still messing around with pliers and shit, get one of these. They're not that expensive. Hit me up, I'll give you the part number. Man, it just I can do this with one hand. It just comes right off. I don't have to mess with shit anymore. So I'm going to take the pipe off. Now, once I take the pipe off, okay, hope you're taking notes, Mr. Fritz. Alright. Ask and you shall receive. Okay, take the springs off. Now as soon as I pull the pipe off, now be careful when you pull the pipe. That's why I always put, before I put the, man, this thing is filthy. There we go. By the way, these Novarossi gaskets, rubber gaskets are like the best. So what I'll do, since I have the pipe off, I can look down in the piston now, and what I'll do is with the piston kind of slightly up, I like to take at least another couple drops. I like to drop it down on the side of the piston. Just give it a little bit more lubrication. Okay. Rock it around a little bit, get it nice and lubed, and then set it bottom dead center. And then get another cap. Put the cap over the back of it, like so. I also would put a cap where the fuel goes in. I have one somewhere. Here it is. Put a cap over that. Okay, set this to the side, and we are going to blast the hell out of this. So what I like to do is just take make sure if you're gonna, like, because this is in my room and I have my window open, I put a fan pointing out because of the fumes. But what I do is I take, you know, carburetor cleaner. Man, this thing is so dirty. Kind of break up all the dirt. And as soon as you're done hitting it with the carburetor cleaner, I don't like leaving the carburetor cleaner on it, because like I said, you know, the rubber and plastics of the carburetor, it's not good to have this shit setting on there. Well, that's the end of that. Now, once I do that, automatically I hit it with simple green again. That way the carburetor shit doesn't set on the motor. And the simple green kind of breaks it up some more. Okay, she is nice and drenched. Okay, then I'll air it off a little bit. That one's done. Some more air. See, I don't do a lot of filming of me wrenching because, as you guys can see, my shit's I'm very meticulous and very detail orientated. It can be very boring. So then, ooh, maybe that's okay. Wow. Okay, so it sounds to me like a bearing or a shim gave out. Okay, now I'm going to hit it with some rubbing alcohol again. Just kind of cake it with it. And rubbing alcohol is not going to hurt anything. It dries pretty quick, so I use a lot of it. It's pretty cheap too. I mean, you can get a freaking gallon of it for, you know, a couple bucks. And it does the job. It cleans pretty well a lot of stuff. You'd be surprised. Those of you who used it, you know. If you haven't used it, try it. It's not going to harm any plastics or rubbers or nothing like that. You guys can see me. The muggy at work. Okay. Oh. Making a mess. Okay. Now, once I get it pretty clean like that, as you guys can see, she's looking nice and fresh. Okay. Now, this is when you hit it with, I use this stuff. It's CRC, multi-purpose lubricant and corrosion inhibitor. That way it's a lubrication, but also too keeps any parts or anything, screws or anything from getting any kind of corrosion or rust. Spray it really good. I mean, I bury this thing in this shit. Okay. Okay, she's pretty marinated now. Oh yeah, she's got some juices on her. This Novorossi is juiced up, people. Okay, now that's pretty much it. That's how I clean my motor. You know, you do it whatever way you want to do it. That's just the way the Muggy does it. Okay, that baby is cleaned up and ready to rock and roll. My clutch valve, something. That's weird. Find out what's going on in there. Anyway, so now as far as the pipe, I'll clean up the pipe really well. I use Brasso on it and shine it up. To get the shit out of the pipe, take carburetor cleaner. Same thing, what I do. Or you can take anything, rubbing alcohol, Simple Green works. Just kind of rinse it out. Especially if you're running rich, you know. Like I was obviously today. And then I'll blow it out. So that way you don't leave, you know, because obviously if there's fuel in there too, it's going to turn into water, and you know, then the pipe will get rusty inside and you'll get all kinds of shit in there. You just want to keep your pipes clean because that's going to affect your performance. So alright people, I think that's about enough of me. That's how I maintain my shit. Okay, like I said, as far as the tank, all I do is I take these little screws out of the end, like so. I'll put my air can, like this, you guys can see it, and I'll put it in one of the lines. I'll show you real quick. I'll put it in one of the lines, like this, and watch. When you blow the air, blow the lines out, see how that? I don't mind if it goes on my carpet, it's just rubbing alcohol, it's not going to do anything. So that's clearing all the fuel out of your lines. If there's any extra, then I just kind of open it up and shake it out. But that way there's no fuel in there. And then when I'm done, this one here, plastics, I usually use, I like to use this stuff here. It's CRC heavy duty silicone. Walmart's like $3 or something. I use this for, you know, like my tank. I'll just spray it, you know, spray it around it really good, spray the line, spray everything, man. I just like to marinate my shit. Lamb baste it with silicone. Bam, there we go. So tank's done. Put that over there. Okay. You know, I mean, I've got enough silicone on the pipe. Now, usually I would use this. You could use also this stuff here on your motor too. Okay. Now, what I use to shine my pipe up after I clean up, you know, I just clean it with Simple Green. I use this Brasso. You got a buffing machine and buffing compound, then knock yourself out. I don't. So, I use this stuff. You rub it on, gets oxidized, take it off, and man, that shit works like. Here, I'll show you. When I'm done with that Novorossi pipe, it'll look like this. Bling, bling. Like all my pipes. I take care of my pipes, man. I see a lot of guys, I don't know why, they got like their pipes and their motors and like buckets and shit, and man, you see my pipes and my motors in buckets? I mean, you spend that kind of money on motors, man, unless you're just flossing out your ass. I put my shit on stands. My pipes are nice and shiny. I clean them every time I run them. I see people with dirty ass freaking pipes. Their motors are just thrown in a barrel or whatever. I mean, or they don't even take care of them, man. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, if you guys do what you want to do. That's just the way that the Muggy rolls, man. I take care of my shit. I guarantee you, even though I'm not going to tear this thing down completely, this thing will be cleaner than 95% of the people that I've seen clean their shit, and I'm just doing a quickie on it. Like I said, you guys already know how I roll. If I was going to tear this thing all the way down and not going to run it again, you know, and move on to the next whip, which will be the MBX 5R race buggy, which I'm deciding whether I'm going to run that bone stock reds again, or I might just hang that sucker up and send it to Rick or Lance and get it modded, and just throw them the modified reds in there, because this thing's already ready to go. It's got over 2 gallons through it. It's prime time. You know, like Deion Sanders, prime time. This motor right here is prime time. It's ready. 2 gallons, balls are hanging down to the ground. It's got huevos, and it's just ready to. Man, I throw this in my truggy and it'd be spanking that ass. You know, but I got this motor, and I got it modded specifically for this whip. This belongs to that. Now on the OS, when I get it modded, man, it might run in here, you know, for shits and giggles, just to see how it performs. But that OS will probably be for my future buggy, the next buggy that I get, which will either be a Techno, could be a Mugen, could be a Kyosho. It's gonna be a next level platform, that's for sure. It's not gonna be no scrub shit. Okay, I have, like I said, I have one scrub vehicle, the Mammoth, and it's not even really a scrub because it's been upgraded. It's not stock anymore, but it is originally an RTR. The rest of my whips, they're not RTRs, and I don't plan on buying any RTRs anytime soon. You know, I got plenty of shit to wrench on if I need to wrench on something. I'm only in the next level whips, people. Okay, don't get it twisted. Okay, RTRs, Savages, LSTs, Offnas, Red Cats, even the Kyosho has RTRs. Those are all scrub shit. I'm not going backwards. I'm progressing and going forward. Matter of fact, I almost forgot to mention, it was kind of cool after I got done running today. Well, actually, I was running my last tank. I get a phone call from Mr. Elite RC. Shout out to you, Elite. By the way, sick-ass dragster. You guys check out his dragster that he built. That thing is badass. I can't wait till he wraps it. He told me he's going to let me know. I think he's going to do a video, but he's going to give me a heads up when he gets ready to wrap that thing. But anyway, he said, hey, Bodagel's trying to get a hold of you, but he lost your number. I'm like, come on, man. He has my number. He called me last time. So anyway, I ended up calling John after I got done. And I was telling him, hey, bro, it's the Muggy Maniac. And John said, hey, hold on. You're not official the Muggy Maniac yet. I was like, what? What are you talking about? Because you got to get my Muggy first. Then you will be Mr. Official Muggy Maniac. I was like, whatever. But it was cool. We talked for a minute. You know, he was just, the guy is just always busy. I'm surprised he has time to even talk to me because he's so busy. But we talked a little bit, and I was telling him about the Novarosi and the Rex Legend and how it's got 2 gallons to it. And he goes, man, his modified 28.8 Rex Legend and his LRP .32, Mr. Zaz, they've got around 10 gallons through them. And they're still running strong. And he takes care of them and maintains them and breaks them in the same way that I do. And that's another thing. Let me before we end this video, I hope that worked for you, Mr. Fritz. That's how I clean my shit. You know, those are the basics. Motor, pipe, tank, rims and tires, body, wing. And, and the radio tray. I got to take this out and clean that too. And your fuel bottle. Okay? Those are the main things that I clean and get them things fresh. Even if I'm not going to do any other wrenching. At least if I have that done, I'm good. And this thing could even set for a while. Even though you know that shit ain't going to happen. because I can't have dirty whips in here, you know. The techno's already going, hey, what's up, man? This freaking pig over here need to clean his ass up. If the techno could talk, he'd be, you wish you looked fresh like me. Negan's like, no worries. Muggy Maniac's going to get me rocking and rolling again. But anyway, so I tell people, and people ask me for advice, yet they do things their own way or they add their own twist. Why, if I told you, and I've told you guys who I get my information from, okay, and you don't believe what I say, and am I saying you got to do it my way, do it the Muggy way, or the highway? No. But I don't understand. I mean, I obviously know what I'm doing. I've been doing it long enough. I'm not, you know, like Mr. Zah or Adam Drake or anything like that, but, I mean, I study these guys. Why do you think I get the results that I get? Why do you think my shit is on point? Running, tuning, the way it's kept, the shit that I'm, you know, the quality that I choose, you know, all that. What do you think it comes from? So for you not to listen to me, you know, or not to take my advice, that would be like if you're a rookie quarterback, okay, and there's a quarterback that's been around a little bit longer than you. Now, granted, he's not, you know, the star quarterback, but say he's a, you know, we'll take for instance, you know, because I love the Cowboys, that's my team, is the Cowboys, is Dak Prescott. If Dak Prescott is in the ear and getting personal advice, I mean not personal advice, but getting professional advice from Joe Montana, from Troy Aikman, from Steve Young, okay, from legends, okay, Brett Favre, you know, Tom Brady. If you know a guy's getting all of his notes and all of his information and everything that he's learning from these guys, why wouldn't you listen to that guy? You got to be a fucking idiot, excuse my language. That guy's learning from the best, and he's trying to pass it on to you, and yet you're not, you goes in one ear and out the other? That's ignorance. Also, Mr. Fritz asked me, can you define ignorance? What does ignorance mean? I think I sent him a message, or I think I texted him what ignorance meant. You know, lack of information or lack of knowledge. That's ignorance. You lack knowledge and you lack information. You're ignorant. That's ignorant. That's what ignorance is. Okay? Just so you guys know. So anyway, that's all I got to say. You know, I mean, I'm trying to help people out, and you guys know who I study and who I've learned from. These, you know, these guys that I learn from are freaking legends, whether it's in racing or whether it's in, you know, YouTube, you know, 8-scale nitro bashing, whatever. I learn from the top guys, man. Guys like Rick at RB Mods, Lance at RC Renew, Adam Drake, John Bodegel, Elite RC, you know, Gordy Testman, Ty Testman's father, world champion mechanic. You know, his son's a world champion. He's a world champion mechanic as well. You know, Ryan Lutz. All these guys. I take notes and I study these guys all the time. That's where I get all my shit from. Now, a lot of it doesn't, you know, some of those guys, a lot of it doesn't apply to bashing or you know, what I call recreational. But for the most part, you know, a lot of the shit that I learned from these guys is, you know, even the maintenance and the upkeep and the tuning and all that. So for you not to listen to me, I don't know what to tell you. Like I said, I can lead the horse to the water, but I can't make it drink. I can only give you the information, and the information is only as good as the person that uses it or applies it. If you're not going to apply what I try to teach you or try to show you, then hey, to each his own. Like I said, some people have to learn the hard way, or people just need to learn on their own. Hey, learn on your own. But don't ask me about stuff and then turn around and do it your own way. That doesn't make any sense to me. Don't even waste your breath. Don't even ask me. Figure it out yourself. I'm here, man. I'm here to help people, man. I tell you guys that all the time. Subscribe, unsubscribe, thumbs down. Man, I love the thumbs down. Like I said, every time I see thumbs down, man, I'm like, there's the trolls right there, man. It's kind of lacking trolls lately. I need more trolls. I need at least 10 to 12 thumbs down per one of my videos. Because I know there's more trolls than that. Just some of them don't have the balls to put the thumbs down, or either that or they're actually learning something. They're actually thinking, hey man, maybe this guy does know what he's talking about. Maybe I can do this fifth scale nitro. You know? Maybe I can graduate from scrub shit to next level. Well, let me just hang around long enough to see what this guy's got going on. Alright people, that's it. There's another hour video, you know, the Muggy Maniac. Like, the main reason I made this video, like I said, is because only one guy had to ask me. Not a bunch of people, not, you know, I got a lot of requests type BS that you hear on people's channels. Well, I got a lot of requests, so I decided to do, you know, a video on this. All I need is one guy. Newbie, MIDI, whatever. One guy. And I'll do a video for that person. That's the kind of guy I am, because it's all about the new guy. It's all about the people that want to learn. A closed mouth doesn't get fed. Remember that. Okay? All you got to do is ask me, and I'll do a video. I'll take time to do a video. I don't have time. I got a lot of shit to do, as you can see. I got some cleaning to do. I got a lot of shit. I got shit going on. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I got to get up in a few hours and go to work. And try to get shit done. When I was talking to John today, John was like, man, I told him, I said, do you ever sleep, bro? He told me, I'm going to be up late tonight, so I probably might call you if you don't mind, if you're going to be up late. I go, yeah, I probably will, like usual. I only get a few hours sleep. He started laughing. He goes, yeah, you're gonna need some of that Delta coffee. I was like, hey, if and when I purchase the Muggy, that's going to be part of the deal. You're going to need to throw in a box of that ZA coffee. He would too. I'm going to hit him up. Anyway, that's all I got, people. Muggy Maniacs out. I hope this helped you out, Mr. Fritz. If anybody else or Mr. Fritz, you have any questions, let me know. Remember, people, you're not running your shit, okay? You got shelf bitches, shelf queens, whatever. Make sure your piston is bottom dead center, and you got some, okay, some of that. Where's it at? What did I do with it? Oh, and you got some of this. The Muggy Juice. I gotta patent this shit. Put my name on it. Start selling it. Muggy Juice. Oh, by the way, contest is coming up. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do as far as a contest. I'm gonna have to do something challenging. I think it's too easy. I'm not just gonna give away shit. You know, you're gonna have to earn this giveaway stuff. And I'm gonna give away some cool shit. Okay. I've been thinking about giving away a motor, but I don't know. As far as I am about my motors, that would be hard for me. I've given away a pipe. I might give away one of these cool stands. These stands, I made them. They're pretty badass. Okay? Maybe I'll do that and some other stuff. Okay? Haven't decided, like I said. I might give away one of my Fly Sky radios. You know? For a newbie, that is the best radio you can get. Dollar for dollar. There you go. Fly Sky FSG T3B. I still use them. I used it today. I've never had an issue with that radio, man. I'm buying another one. And another one of these. And I'm getting the Noble. I was talking to Elite about the Noble. The Noble is the next level above in Fly Sky. You'll see it. I'll unbox it when I get it. It's around $200. It's a little bit more than that one, but it's a pretty sick radio. Elite's been trying me to get it ever since he got one. So, but anyway, that's all I got, people. I got to get going. Like I said, if you guys need anything else, just, you know, ask. That's all you got to do is ask. And for you other guys and you know, wannabes and scrubs and, you know, scrubs, you guys are cool because I know eventually you're going to get it. But as far as the wannabes and the trolls and the guys that talk their shit, that don't even got shit going on in their channel, you know what? Hey, all I got to say is you're only as good as your last game, okay? And if you didn't even have a last game, well then, there you have it. I just call it how I see it. Alright, people. Muggy Maniac is out. Peace.